There's not one guy, one person in the history of this program that's bigger than the program.
Oh, what's up and welcome into this post-game pod edition of the Program Guys podcast. Mason Prince, Mark Hall, Patrick Hertzberger, Ryan Tyson with you for this edition. Oklahoma loses on the road, their first loss of the season to Kansas. 30. What was the
Doesn't matter.
Whatever it was, Oklahoma lost.
Everyone's just distraught after this.
It's not great.
38-33.
38-33. Oklahoma loses. They had a chance at a Hail Mary at the end. Not even a Hail Mary. It was like a 30-yard, 25-yard pass,
off.
Whatever it was. Dylan Gabriel didn't even give him a shot. I won't bring that up yet. But yeah. So boys, opening thoughts real quick. Your 10-second synopsis of how you're feeling right now in this moment before we dive in. Ryan, I'll start with you. 10 seconds, Ryan.
You can start with me? Okay, 10 seconds. We deserve to lose this game. And I hope this wakes up our coaching, because that was a piss poor coaching performance.
I agree. Patrick?
Jeff Lebby is the reason we lost this game. He needs to keep it simple.
Mark, what about you?
Jeff Lebby is the reason we lost this game, and so is Brent Venables.
Great.
And I echo what Mark says. Yeah, and it's tough. It's really tough. And I don't really know how we should do this, guys. Should we go offense, defense like we usually do? I feel like we just need to kind of have a vent session and see where it takes us. I don't really know. I feel like it'd provide more structure if we did offense and defense.
Let's keep the structure, and if the game goes somewhere as we're talking, we'll just talk about it, and then we'll get moved back to it.
All right. I think the only place to start is with the offense, because once again, Jeff Lebby, I don't know, guys, like he continues to show that he doesn't know what this team is good at, which in turn makes me think I don't know what this team's good at, because I don't think Jeff.
What is this team good
at? Exactly. I don't know, because Jeff Lebby doesn't know either, and his play calling shows that. Did Tawee Walker get injured? Do we know that for sure?
Toward the end of the game. Yeah, okay, he said he's hurt.
Yeah, obviously his carries tapered off quite a bit. But even when he was healthy, the drives where he wasn't getting fed were the drives where nothing happened. And I don't really understand that. I don't need to see another Gavin Freeman sweep in my entire life. I'm done. I'm done with it. I know what it gets me.
Two things during the game. One, I said it. Tawee Walker is the punch, right? There was no counter punch today. There was nothing at all. Play action passes weren't really going anywhere. You couldn't build anything off of that Tawee Walker run play. And then two, I'm also done with Gavin Freeman, man. I know he was a spring football superstar, but this is not working.
No, it's not. As
many times as the teacher's pet gets the ball on every single play, we're just not getting yardage out of it. Why is that not Jaquez Petaway? I think Ryan, you might have said it today, or I watched with Ryan and friend of the pod, Ryan Heil, and we mentioned it today. Why isn't it someone else a little bit more dynamic? Because Gavin Freeman's just not getting the job done on those sweeps. And you know he's not running a route, not a real route.
No, never.
He goes backwards in every single.
Yeah, it's never
every single one. He caught a slant today, and I mentioned it to the guys. That's the first time he's caught a ball ahead of the line of scrimmage all year, I think.
Mm-hmm.
He's such an obvious little trick play guy.
Yeah, he is. And anybody else jump in with your thoughts real quick? Because it's going to snowball. It's going to snowball.
We're doing this a while.
It's going to snowball. I mean, I think I have a lot to say about the offense, and I really don't have it in like a collected, like, here's how I feel. This is how I feel 30 minutes post game, right? Jeff Lebby, there was some egregiously bad play calling and poor decision making based on the circumstances that we were in as a team. And what I mean by that is one of the worst things that I saw, and I bet you guys will agree with me, was the awful last 2.5 minutes of this game. And it was, you get a spectacular interception from Ethan Downs. You have 2.5 minutes left in the game. You were on Kansas's 40, and all you need is a first down to extend this game. They have 3 timeouts.
It's inexcusable.
And you don't even try. You don't do anything. You just run it up the field. You know exactly what's good. You do the same play. You do a QB draw, I think, on the second.
On 3rd and 9.
Second down. Yeah, like
third and 9 quarterback draw to go out there and like punt.
I
Where's
just don't.
the ball
I
on
don't.
that 4th and 7 after that? Real fast. Let me interrupt.
It was on the 40. No, it was on the 35, and then we got pushed back after Nick Anderson got a false start.
Yeah.
So we were on
It
the 30.
would have been.
I'm
I'm
thinking of a different drive. My mistake.
So am
My
I.
mistake.
So am I.
No. There was multiple drives like this. I'm thinking of the
Yeah.
very, very last one.
The last
And
one.
And the reason that I'm thinking about that is because you take away a momentum, almost it could be a game clinching interception by Ethan Downs, and you just throw it away. You just don't even try. And then you punt it into the freaking end zone. I just like,
Yeah, it's a net of like 15 yards. It was a net of a 15-yard punt.
it just absolutely blows my mind how the offense can be so inept in certain circumstances when you know what works. Like we saw what worked today. Like we were running with Tawee Walker. We had an entire offensive series that was 9 plays, 8 of them running. We marched down the entire field and made it look easy.
21 unanswered.
And then you try to get cute, and it's just like, I think Mark hit on this earlier, but this offense does not have an identity. It does not know who it is. It has no idea what it's good at. It has no idea what it's bad at. And Jeff Lebby just throws out whatever he wants to at the time. And it's worked for 7 games, but it didn't work today.
No, here's my thing is I think that the offense found its identity during the Texas game and then lost it over the bye week. Because we are now facing the same questions on offense that we were facing week 1.
Yep.
What are we doing on the offensive line?
They've gone
Bill Bedenbaugh
backwards.
is still rotating guys as
It's unacceptable.
What the hell was that? What the hell was
What's
that?
happening? Why
It's
is
unacceptable.
Savion Byrd still getting those snaps? If McGinn Tower is capable of going out there every 3rd drive, he's probably capable of going out there until he's no longer capable of going out there.
Correct.
That's kind of what football is, okay? It's a gladiator sport. Send him out there, and if he can't play, then you figure out the Troy Everett, Savion Byrd thing. And Caden Green needs every snap at left guard. Why are you rotating him out of the game?
I have no idea.
What is going on there? And you can tell immediately when McCaden Tower comes in the game, that right guard run just right over. I don't know the freaking zone blocking scheme. I don't know what's going on there. But when McCade's in the game, we can run that direction. And when anyone else is in the game, we can't.
Yeah.
It's obvious.
Patrick,
Sorry,
jump in
I just
there.
got heated. Sorry,
No,
Ryan.
you're
I
fine.
thought
You're good.
overtook
No.
you there. I didn't
I
mean
do
to,
think-
brother.
I do think the weather was a reason why we didn't find our identity, our offensive identity today. Jeff Lebby
Sure.
was afraid to run a lot of his usual play calls and he stuck to his tricky stuff instead of just running straight. Had we have just ran straight the entire game, we would have won this game. However, he got tricky. The 2 things that really pissed me off was at the end of the first half when we have 50 seconds left and we don't try to go down the field. That is so absolutely soft. Then we get the ball back at the beginning of the half and we're 3rd and 3 and we do a trick play with Gavin Freeman instead, or just whatever, just run him across the field instead of moving. Sweep. Yeah, it was a sweep with Gavin Freeman when Tawee Walker is averaging 7 yards a carry.
Yeah.
And we need 3 yards.
Yep.
We could just use both of the next 2 downs. And if he gets 1 yard, he'll get 7 yards the next time too. And that happened consistently throughout the course of the game. When we were probably going to go for it on a 4th down, but the first 2 downs, we just didn't make the right play call. The 3rd down didn't set us up for success on the 4th down. I have no idea what Jeff Lebby's doing. No idea. It was atrocious by him today.
I think, Pat, I think I agree with most everything you just said, other than like we couldn't find our identity because of the weather, because I think we did kind of start finding our identity with Tawee Walker. Like I think the run game, we have been talking for 7 weeks, who is going to break out, and he did today and he was great. And then
It was really great.
And then our ridiculous play calling decided that we don't want to use what's working for us. And we do these weird trick plays, not even screens, sweeps.
We get goofy.
That just like you overcomplicate it. I think like there is no consistency. there is no we like this offense should not be this complicated, and yet they're making it this complicated. This is not the players' fault. None of this is on the
No,
players.
I don't put anything
This
on
is
the
I
players.
agree.
all coaching, and they have to be better than that.
There was one play today that's a player's play. That's Dylan throwing the interception.
Sure,
I think
but
we can all
bad.
agree that's bad call by Dylan.
That was early.
Past that, we found one thing today that worked for us, and that was the Tawee Walker show.
Mm-hmm.
Just hey, left, right, up the middle, Tawee Walker works. And past that again, it became Madden play calling. And I've called it that before, but it really just gets to I want to do something fun and try and figure something cool out. And there's nothing, there's no consistency, there's no rhyme or reason to a lot of plays that were called. I don't understand it. And sorry, Mason, continue, and then I want to bring up another thing after that.
Okay, number one, Jaleel Farouk in the backfield getting tackled by linebackers. So obviously he can't handle that. I mean, that was a back-breaking fumble, and that's
Backbreaking.
That's
That's
unacceptable.
the downside.
Yeah, that's the downside. I get he's fun and a gadget guy, and he's an electric. You want to get the ball in his hands.
But like, why do you bring him in and give him the ball when Tawee Walker is doing what he's doing?
Agreed. You shouldn't
get it.
Agreed. You shouldn't.
I don't get it.
But here's what I wanted to say. At one point, and to Patrick's point about the weather, yeah, the weather sucked. It was bad. But at the same time, they're putting 7, 8 guys in the box. They're trying to stop the run. And at no point until the Brennan Thompson duck pass at the end of the drive did we throw a ball more than 15 yards downfield.
Yep.
That can't happen. I don't care what the weather is. Dylan's played enough football in Florida where it rains a lot that he can probably throw the ball in the rain. Give the dude a chance. Give him a chance. I think it was a tweet from not Malcolm Kelly, Mark Clayton. Saw a tweet from Mark Clayton who said if they're gonna run cover one and bring a robber down into the box, we should be making them pay every single time. And for those of you who don't know, is essentially what he's saying is stacking the box, playing man on the outside and running a one high safety. Yeah, you need to make them pay. And you know what that tells me is that this team doesn't trust any receiver outside of Andrell Anthony. And that's tough. And that's something that we're going to have to live with now because that's a problem. That pass that Drake Stoops caught for about 40 yards on a slant. I love Drake Stoops. Think he's a great guy. He had a great Oklahoma career. Anyone else catches that ball, that's a touchdown. He's not fast enough. He's not fast enough. You had so much grass in front of you. You had the angle. You had all that. You're just not fast enough to do it. You got caught by a linebacker.
During that play, when he caught it, I just yelled at the TV, speed. I remember Mark saying this, and he doesn't have it.
No, he doesn't.
Now that was still a great play for us, right? Like I'm not those are things that worked.
Yeah,
right?
I'm just citing that as how we don't have the bodies to be an explosive offense like that, like they want to be. We
have missed Andrell Anthony significantly. Like I think significantly more than I expected us to. The complete lack of separation from our wide receivers was atrocious, really bad. And that's not all their fault. I think the offensive line is also to blame with not giving Dylan the amount of time. It was terrifying to see on that last 55 seconds at the very, very end of the game, how much time Dylan had compared to Kansas's last drive and how much time Bean had. He had all the time in the entire world. Do what he wanted. I know we're not talking about defense yet, but like that's offensive line. And I just don't get it. They just so many mistakes after mistakes after mistakes.
Yeah, and it's on Brent. You wasted a timeout on a 4th down in the second half where you were
just
already
take the
punting.
penalty.
Yeah, just take the 5 yards.
Hey, real fast on timeouts. End of the first half, 53 seconds left on the clock, 3 timeouts left. You do a run play and then you run the clock out.
That
was Patrick's soft.
Cowardly.
Coward. It's cowardice. It's nothing but that. It's nothing but that.
You know what you should do is go try to win the game. is go try to win the freaking football game, because I don't care if it's wet, windy, rainy. It doesn't matter. Nick Anderson is 6'4". Jaden Gibson is 6'5". You throw the balls up to your freaking Condors and hope that they make a play in that time. What are we doing?
One catch for Nick Anderson
kind of
today.
What kind of soft I want to go into the locker room crap is that?
Yeah. I want to go into the locker room and talk to my guys. No. Go score. Go score.
And then talk to your guys.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean?
It's gross, man. It's just gross.
You don't get those 53 seconds back on the back end, man. And it was either Patrick or Ryan. Someone said it, or Ryan. Andrew Anthony's not here anymore. You have to figure something out. Someone has to be able to get open when Dylan needs to throw the ball somewhere, and no one's capable of doing that. Drake is capable of doing that sometimes, about at the rate that Drake has always been capable of doing that. But Drake's always had another guy somewhere that can really do something too. And Jaleel's not doing it like we expect him to. Nick and Jaden are taking turns at not making plays right now. And I don't know what to expect out of the passing game. And
well, when Jaleel's in the backfield, there's no one like who you've got. Who do you have? And Jaleel's just going to get the ball in the backfield, and everyone on the planet knows that.
Gavin.
It's like a complete mismanagement of the talent that you have. And and that is all on the offensive coordinator.
Because there is talent.
Like, and I know there's, running backs coach, wide receivers coach, and all of that, but he's the one who's calling the plays. And it's absolutely ridiculous that you are not putting your best people in the best positions to help you win a ball game. And like, that's what we saw today. And it's just, there's no acknowledgement of like what's working and then like continuing what's working. It's just like, oh, we always got to switch it up. We always got to be tricky. We always got to get cute. Like, no, you don't. You actually don't, because football, how you win a football game is you be consistent, and it's garbage.
You be the more physical, imposing,
consistent team. Yeah, exactly. And we were for spots there. Second quarter, right? I thought we played a very good second quarter. We came out the third quarter. Yeah, we came out of the third quarter looking like shit. And it's like, I'm sorry, I'm cursing on pods, and I know we're not supposed to, but like
rowdy.
Like this is bullshit. This is bullshit coaching, and it's unacceptable from Jeff Lebby and from Brent Venables. This is not just on Lebby. So anyway, sorry, I'm getting heated up.
It is. Patrick, your final point on the offense, and then Mark, you can have one more, and then we'll move on.
I'm good.
Okay, Mark.
If you could cut everything Ryan said for his first minute 15 there.
And I went off the rails.
Well, then you just started saying some things that I'm not sure I 100% agree with, but everything you said at first, I'm 100% just echo that. It wasn't a good day, man. It wasn't a good day. We had no identity past the Tawee Walker run.
I'll say one more thing, actually. I think Brendan Thompson has created, he deserves to get on the field more. 100%.
At this point,
changer. He's a game changer.
If you're not going to put Petaway out there, put Brendan Thompson.
At this point, I completely agree. And also offensively, even as the team as a whole, and we'll get to this on the defense as well. But the last thing I have is you can't have 100 yards of penalties, and that's on Brent Venables as well. That's on Jeff Lebby as well. You had guys constantly confused about where they were supposed to be, where they're going on both sides of the ball. You had guys running in late. You had holding penalties. You had a bunch of BS. The Caden Green penalty, hands to the face, is dumb. You scored anyway, I think, on that drive. Caden Green essentially pushed a dude up around his neck, and they called hands to the face. It wasn't, but that's neither here nor there. There were other calls by the referees, but that's not why you lost.
15 of those 100 yards were because of Brent Venables. It was the sideline infraction or whatever, if you expect
right after the personal foul.
If you expect your players to be poised and not get these kind of penalties, you can't get them yourself. You can't. That can't happen. And it might have been a shitty penalty. I think it kind of was, but like at the same time, you can't do that. You can't. And he's got to be better. He's got to be better.
Unacceptable by the head coach.
Yeah, he's got to be better.
On the defensive side of the ball, my biggest concerns or issues, lack of a pass rush, was non-existent.
It was so bad today.
And look, you can come to me and say, oh, they only threw the ball like 20 times today. That's fine. The 20 amount of times he wasn't really under pressure. He had all day to throw most glaringly on the last drive of the game, on the 2 plays that you needed to stop. You got guys running wide open downfield because you can't get any pressure, and your defensive backs can't cover that long. It's
well, you're also
atrocious.
rushing 3. You're rushing 3, and somehow they get all the space that they do.
Yeah, it's
gross.
It's gross. And on the last drive down the right sideline, the players most obviously did not know the play call. Did not know it.
Is Key Lawrence the corner? We've got something going on there, but Key Lawrence is playing corner there. I want to caveat everything we say about the defense just real fast with Danny Sussman goes down and doesn't come back for the entire second half. And you really saw it in the secondary at the safety position. Peyton Bowen has to be the starter because Key Lawrence misses tackle after tackle after tackle in the first half. And then he played better. He did. He improved.
He did play better.
Not to a point where I think Peyton Bowen wouldn't have been a better on average player there. And Reggie Pearson, same thing. I think that targeting call was BS, but it is what it is, right? That's the game. He's going to miss the first half of the next game, and hopefully Peyton Bowen is right by then. He was playing by the end of the game, but he's not ready. I just wanted to bring those things up because those are, I mean, clearly 2 of the best 3 or 4 players on the defense. And in the second half, as admirably as Kip Lewis played, him and Jaren Kanak as a twosome are not ready for the big leagues, I don't think.
No, 100% not. But like you said, I thought Kip Lewis played a hell of a game for being thrown into the situation that he was thrown into. And a freshman coming in there playing hard. I really did. I thought he played very, very well. Patrick?
Yeah, I would agree with all of those points. Disappointing on the pressure. Kip Lewis did a great job coming in. Maybe we adjusted because Danny was out, but you could see holes and just a lack of getting to the ball and swarming the ball because Danny's usually that guy who's there.
It's a good point.
It sure feels like the defense is more spread out when Danny's
it does.
The person at linebacker because he's able to just close ground so fast and break on people. Yeah. Good point, Patrick.
Ryan?
Okay, I'm going to be more critical than you guys are. The defense played.
I feel like I'm pretty critical.
It was bad.
Okay, it was very bad. It was bad all the way around. It was bad when Danny was in the game. It was worse when he was out, which expected, right? Our run game was.
Ethan Downs had a good game, and that's it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he had an interception that then didn't mean anything. So, dumb
offense.
The defense we allowed 31 points essentially. They had a pick 6, so that we're not counting that, but 31 points to this Kansas team with a backup quarterback.
Allowed 23 on offense to Quinn Ewers in Texas.
You can't do that. You can't do it. The run defense was really bad. I thought we talked about that a lot in the pregame pod on who was going to win the running battle. And it wasn't good. Our defense wasn't good. And then
we won the running battle.
I know.
269 yards to 225.
I know.
Sorry.
But it should have been we keep flipping back to the offense, but we should have had more than that, right? That's why I'm saying we should have had more than that. And we were still unable to win because of stupid offensive decisions. We're talking about the defense right now, so I'm going to stay there. But it was bad all the way around. It was bad all the way around. We had some really great moments of we've stopped them. My biggest flags, run defense, pass rush, giving Jason Bean the as much time as he absolutely wants to throw the ball is, I don't know how that's possible. honestly. I just like I don't understand how you can't get any pressure on the guy. None. Especially when they were so freely getting pressure on Dylan Gabriel. Like I don't really get that. And it's just bad. It's bad. It's bad responses to large plays. We just like, and I think part of that's on the offense too, of like not having the identity and then having like flip back to the defense and they like affect one another. But you can't, giving up 31 points to this Kansas team and going through this entire game with this performance, we deserve to lose this game on both sides of the ball. We got outplayed on both sides of the ball. We almost got lucky and got out of it with that interception by Ethan Downs, but that didn't happen, right? Like we weren't able to capitalize on that. We had so many chances to capitalize. We didn't do it. And so it's just like, it's unacceptable. It's all on the coaching staff. They need to be better.
Brent Venables said in his post-game press conference, by the way, that's what I was just looking up, that the 15-yard sideline penalty they got was from an assistant. He didn't name the assistant. It wasn't from Brent, though.
Oh, okay.
So
but still,
he was barking at the official is what Brent said. So I don't know. Regardless,
got
get
to
some
stay
control.
composed.
Yeah,
Gotta
I
stay
wonder what an
composed.
assistant is in this phrasing, right? I wonder
Yeah.
if that's Miguel Chavis just like
Oh,
going
man.
after someone.
Oh, yeah. it could
Because
be.
I could see it, right? But I don't
could be.
know what that really looks like. Or like
Look,
Jerry
man,
Schmidt.
the
Throw a flag
so
because you're scared.
and I'm not moving on from the defense, but this is just where my head goes as we kind of look at this step back as a whole, right? So at the beginning of the year, no one picked us to go undefeated on this podcast, correct?
No.
Correct.
Right. So a lot of us figured with a loss, one of those losses was Texas. So you trade out the Texas loss for a win, and then you lose to Kansas. Of course, you don't want to lose to Kansas. I'm not trying to sugarcoat this. I'm just telling you what's at stake here. You play Oklahoma State next week, a chance to get right in your final Bedlam game in the foreseeable future. Win that game, and a lot of people forget about this one because then you're right back on the road to Arlington and you figure it out. I personally didn't think this team was a playoff team this year anyway. Would it have been fun? Sure, absolutely. And they still could, all things considered. But I don't think they're good enough. Personally, I really don't. What,
On
Mark?
the Program Roundup podcast last week.
I would agree.
Did I say?
It's,
Yeah, you did.
I
That's
think,
okay.
but
Roll
here's
the
the
tape.
thing. Here's
Roll
the
the
thing.
tape.
Here's the
Come on, rewind it.
here's the thing though. When they play like how they can, they could be, right? They just don't. They're just not consistent enough. They're just all over the place.
Well, it's
And, like,
The Andrell Anthony hole is so big, and
Yeah.
I think
Andrell
we
Anthony
underestimated
hole-
it, even as big as we knew it was.
and the Danny hole in the second half, massive as well. I don't think.
It feels
Sorry.
dirty when you say.
I know.
Danny hole.
My bad. That was
I
weird.
don't know why.
But I don't think that Jason Bean 45-yard touchdown untouched run happens if Danny Sussman's on the field.
No.
Like I don't think everybody's completely fooled by that and running the freaking opposite
yeah,
way
they missed
on a read option.
they missed
He's a coach on the
Danny's
field,
leadership.
And Jaron and Kip are not. They're effective players, but they're made so much more effective by Danny Stutzman being next to them.
Yeah.
And together they're so much less than either of them are with Danny.
Yeah, agreed.
God, I hate that.
Um,
I hate the bye week.
But
I hate the bye week.
yeah,
so
Mason,
much.
I want to kind of like piggyback on what you were just
Yeah.
talking about. I know we got to get out of here soon, but with you saying like, we still have a lot in front of us, right? This team, this is not like a dead season now.
No.
We've lost one game. We can still make it to Arlington.
We expect
Who
to
knows
lose
what
a game.
happens from there?
yes,
right?
we expected to lose a game.
I think the thing that I am most concerned about is I feel like something broke at the bye week. And you talk about this. You just mentioned the bye week. Something broke with this team that I'm not really sure what broke, but something broke. And we're getting worse every week. Like we played a terrible game against UCF. We played worse today. And it's like, are we going to just continue to get worse? And we're going to start regressing to where we were in 2022.
Well, and
Like-
to that point, Ryan, I don't think it's like a mentality thing for the players. I think the game planning and coaching is different. I don't
It's
even think
something
it's the
changed.
I don't think it's the
I don't know
players
what.
being like, oh, we're too good now. I don't think that's what it is. I think the coaching mindset has somehow changed and flipped, and it's weird because it's the game planning. They look lost at times. I don't understand.
That's the
So
most
I don't-
difficult thing about this is because we all picked us to lose a couple of games, and that's because Brent Venables hasn't gotten 4 years of recruiting classes in yet to be the best, have the horses. We lost today because of Brent Venables and Jeff Lubby, not because we didn't have the horses.
Yep.
And that's
Agreed.
what's
Totally
concerning.
agree.
That's a
a
good
great
point.
way to put it, Patrick.
And-
I also think that we I sort of lost it, man, Patrick. That
Dang
was a great
it.
point.
Dang it.
No, but it was
Got
just
distracted.
it was yeah, just by like Patrick, like, oh, it took me a week there. But no, it was we got out coached, we got outplayed, and hopefully it lights a fire. Like you can see in past Oklahoma seasons, you can see this kind of trajectory. It always happened a little earlier in the year, right? But you go like drop and then come back up because you lose a game and then you rise from it. Personally, I'm going to take an optimistic view and say that at least from a coaching standpoint, Brent Venables is going to rise to the occasion and have his guys ready. But I said it after the Texas game, we have to recalibrate our expectations because it's now a playoff team. Now we need to recalibrate again because we're a team who might lose Bedlam in Oklahoma in Stillwater next week.
It's
There's
very
no
possible.
reason to think that that's not possible now. There's also no reason to think we can't go out and rock them, but it's all about how you respond to what I think we've all said was a terrible game.
Like Oklahoma State with their running back was just like licking their chops today. Looking at our
and
running
Matt
defense.
Gann's quarterback, Alex Bowman.
Big facts.
Like Oklahoma State, and this is the last Bedlam game, right? I know we're gonna talk preview pod here in a little bit, or like here this week, but like it's I don't know. I don't feel great. I don't feel great about that game. I don't.
I mean, yeah, I don't feel as good as I did, but here to Mark's point, this is kind of my final point. Every time that Brent Venables has faced he's not the guy, this team's not ready, this team's not good enough, he's risen to the occasion. He was told all offseason that this team wasn't it and that they're not going to figure it out.
Yeah, we went 6-7 last season, Mason.
I don't care. I don't care. This year. He rises to the occasion.
Mason.
It's like, did you just black out his first year?
I go to straw man like no one else. I know.
Like
I do.
no one else.
You said
Continue,
it so confidently. I loved it.
I think that he's gonna step up and rise above all expectations, and I think this team rides it out and they don't lose another game. And pass Arlington. I think they win. I think they go through the Big 12 title. We'll see where it's at after that. I don't know who the matchups are after that. I don't want to lock myself into a corner here and do that. But man, I mean, look, at the end of the day, it sucks. If it makes OU fans feel any better, this isn't the same Kansas team that beat Texas and Arlington a couple years ago. This is a good Kansas team. This is we talked about it on the preview pod. They're not a pushover team. They were going to fight.
No, and I'm not as down as I guess I thought I would be because we should have lost this game. We did not play well enough.
You didn't deserve to win this game.
And it would have felt really nice to come out of Lawrence with a win. But Mason, you said it throughout the week. Rock Talk Prince was on it. You can't overlook this thing, and it seems like since the bye, we've been overlooking things.
Yeah.
Tough stuff. Hope we overcome it.
Even on the bye week pod, I think we all kind of circled the Kansas game. We were like, look, if they get through the Kansas game and they go 8-0.
Yeah, we were worried about Kansas.
Then they have the opportunity to go undefeated. But I think we all were kind of like, let's get through Kansas and we'll figure it out. And now here we are. Like this is a program building win for Kansas. Good for Kansas and Lance Leipold. They had a good game plan. That offense is funky as hell.
So
with
weird.
with all of the movement and stuff. And credit to them, they had a really good game plan. They deserve to win the game. Any final thoughts before we get out of here, boys?
Levy's got to be better. That's it.
I saw people on Twitter saying leave him in Lawrence.
That is funny.
I saw that.
That
was funny. That was funny.
You don't leave him in Lawrence because we still have Jackson Arnold coming. You can't do anything like that. That's silly and premature. And also, Mason, we still give MVPs and losses, man. So,
oh, dude, yeah, we
first.
do. Who's our MVPs? Mark, we'll start with you since you brought it up.
Yeah, man, I will give it to Kip Lewis. I think that between the fumble recovery on the special teams play, we didn't even talk about what Robert Spears-Jennings, who has been absent from the safety rotation, even though Peyton Bowen wasn't playing really much today. Anyway, gigantic hit by him on special teams. Kip Lewis brings the ball in. That's a great play. And to come in the second half, he didn't play poorly. It's just that he's young, I think. I believe. He's redshirt freshman, sophomore, whatever he is. He's a good player. Kip Lewis, my MVP in a losing effort. Bang.
Mine's got to be Tawee. Mine's got to be Tawee Walker.
Same.
Just for obvious reasons.
Nope, you got to do a new one.
What?
It's more fun this way, guys.
Okay, all right. I'll do
Go ahead.
a new
Don't
one.
you
I'll do a
agree?
new one. It's Tawee. It's for sure Tawee. But my new one is Ethan Downs, who I thought played
Great call.
really well and then had an exceptional turnover that
That play was so smart, man.
I know. He was great.
That should
He
have
was great.
ended the game. That's so frustrating. It's going to get lost in the ether. But God, dude, what a freaking heads up,
Yep.
smart play.
Anticipation, it's everything you want. And
God.
in a defense and in a defensive play. It's everything you want. And it was completely wasted. And that
Great
is
call.
that's a shame.
Completely wasted. All right, Patrick.
round us out.
Reggie Powers, the new Oklahoma commit, for committing to
Patrick refuses to give it to
nice.
somebody in the game.
Yeah,
I like it.
That'll do it.
Yeah, I like it, Patrick. So if you've made it this far, be sure to like, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Trying to hit 2,000 subscribers. If you like what you see, hit that subscribe button. It costs you $0. Even ring the bell. Let us know. It'll let you know when we post new content to our YouTube channel. You can also catch this on any audio platform, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, all of that good stuff. You can find us at programguys.com. All of our social media at Program Guys with a Z on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. We're everywhere. All the time, all at once. That's going to do it. Oklahoma Sooners 7-1, lose to Kansas, on to Bedlam next week. Patrick, take us out.
Keep pushing it, baby.
3, 2, 1.
There's not one guy, one person in the history of this program that's bigger than the program.
What's better than this? Guys being dudes.